Okay, here we are, part two of our Picks podcast. I'm Jester, this is Lunchbox, and we're on now. We've just done the really fun ones that everybody's interested in, like, visual effects. Now we're on to sound mixing. Eh, Interstellar.
No.
No?
I can see where you're coming from on that.
I think it's just a safer word. It's like, Interstellar. The build up to Interstellar, people thought it's going to be like a big Oscar contender. People saw it and were just like, we'll give it something. Here's a bone.
See, and that's why I was going to say American Sniper.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought sound mixing was going to go,
I think American Sniper gets the sound mixing.
As the proverbial, like, will throw you a bone.
Yeah, the proverbial throw you a bone, plus also war movies tend to. War movies are, I think, a little harder to mix to get that sound exactly right for the explosions around you and then.
Okay, I can see that.
Trying to get the sound of everything right. I think there's a complexity there that I think that sound engineers would appreciate, and since your peers vote on it, I think they'd appreciate the mixing on that. Whereas, personally, I would go for the more musical film. Whiplash would probably has a little bit more complexity, but I think that the difficulty in mixing the sound for a war movie and combined with, well, we really should give it something, kind of gets American Sniper that win.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I feel like
Outer Space and Unusual Noises, certainly, you got a chance there, but I think mixing real world is always more difficult.
Yeah, I think everybody thought Interstellar was going to be the next 2001: A Space Odyssey, which it definitely has those elements, and I don't know. I give the throw it a bone award to that, but you're saying American Sniper. Okay, I can see that too. Sound editing. Again, this is I'm sorry. I love the way. I don't think anybody appreciates sound on a level I didn't know. I think the appreciation of sound is an underappreciated art, so to speak. But I'll give it to The Hobbit again. This is me thinking throwing it a bone type stuff, because
this is wishful thinking.
It's not just wishful thinking, but it's just like there are movies that if I was doing the Academy Awards, it'd look a whole heck of a lot different.
Be an entirely different show.
It would be an entirely different show, not including excluding the obligatory helicopter fight at the beginning, but I'm talking back on the subject. I think that The Hobbit, again, it's like you've got sword fights, you've got music going on, you've got. I think that The Hobbit, all of them are experience films. Like, I want to see it again before it leaves the theater. I think people who vote on this, that's my thought. Anyway.
Well, yeah, and certainly, but again, I think fantastical is easier to do somehow.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you can just make stuff up.
Yeah, because you can just make it up as you go along. And I think that trying to make things sound real, well, I appreciate the added complexity of trying to make something sound real in a fantasy world. But I think that with things that you know what that sound is, it's more difficult. Like, you can have the TARDIS beam in and out, and whoosha, 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 it's a sound that's instantly recognizable, of course, but you could do that. You could mix that loud, mix that soft. Nobody knows how loud a TARDIS is supposed to be when it comes in, but everybody knows how loud a gunshot is. So it's more.
Everybody in South Central LA, I'm sure. Everybody's heard gunshots. But I see what you mean. Everybody has a certain expectation of what a sound should be, like, that you're familiar with. Whereas,
and one that you know.
Well, how do you know how a dragon sounds when it roars? I don't see you with your. Okay.
Right, and so I think that there's the added element of that, of something that you know what the sound is and what the sound level should be as opposed to other things, even if, you grew up in Colorado and have no idea what a gunshot sounds like, you're still going to go...
I would say some Coloradans know how to, I have friends who go... Anyway, go ahead. Go out and learn.
Well, I'm sure that there are some.
But, again, too, those people would know what a gunshot sounds like. Versus
right, or they have some idea of what they think it should sound like and how loud that they think it should be.
Well, that's not how a gunshot sounds. Well, I've never heard one before, but I'm pretty sure a gun would sound different.
Pretty sure. And really, honestly, I think that probably something like Birdman has more complexity in the way that the sound is mixed, but I think that it's just not as ostentatious as American Sniper, which gets my pick.
Again, for sound mixing and editing, American Sniper wins both.
Yes, okay. American Sniper wins both.
All right. Okay.
It's the throw to bone award, and I think probably the mixing. I mean, it's things you've heard before, or things that you kind of know what they should sound like, and that makes it more interesting and more complex and harder to do.
Okay. Moving on to my favorite award, absolutely knocks it out of the park, is the live short film, which I never see any of these any year, period.
I don't think I've seen any of them either.
Boogaloo and Graham, and I'm picking that because of its name. We could totally go... It's got a good name. I hate to say it, I wouldn't be surprised if half the Academy voters look at this and say, I haven't seen these and I'm not spending 20 minutes to. I gotta get to my cocktail party. That sounds like a cool name. Pick that one. I could be wrong. I'm sorry. But I have to admit,
you are wrong. As of a few years back, you are required to have seen at least 75% of the shorts in order to vote.
That's funny. So there actually probably was a lot of people who were just like,
I don't know. You actually need to have seen most of them in order to vote for the shorts.
But that's 75%. That means theoretically the entire live short category. I'm sorry, all of you who are in that category, but I would be willing to bet the majority of Academy voters are like, that sounds good. Now, what's the synopsis? I know you make 20-minute films, but I would be willing to bet that.
That sounds well. And come on, you picked Boogaloo and Graham over Butterlamp? Butterlamp is a great name.
Butterlamp is a good name, but perhaps it's like I'm thinking Baloo the bear in the back of my mind. And there's
everybody loves Baloo.
Butterlamp does sound kind of...
it just sounds kind of awesome, doesn't it?
Actually, it sounds like a punk rock band.
That's it. I'm naming my band Butterlamp.
Butterlamp and Untamed Lick tonight only. It just has that feel. Anyway,
it sure does.
If you have more to say on live short, then please
I'm going to go with Aya.
Aya?
Aya, because it sounds
foreign
and a little boring. So, and I think that's kind of the way that he has the 1-2 punch. It sounds boring and.
It sounds boring and vaguely foreign. I think I'll vote for that. Okay, I can see that. As a pretentious Academy Award voter, so I tried to maintain my street cred. I saw
exactly.
Aya. Yeah.
Exactly.
That does sound better to say than, Butterlamp.
I voted for Butterlamp.
Now I have to see this film. Okay, wouldn't you be surprised if that one, if the winner is I don't know.
It'd be awesome. Butterlamp.
Just to hear that buttered in front of millions of people. Butterlamp. Anyway, sorry. Animated short. I haven't seen any of these, but I looked really briefly at a few minutes of each, and I will give it to Feast. Disney still knows how to do animation. If you've seen the trailers or just even a few seconds of all these, you've got your one. I can't remember what it was called. This one that just it looks terrible, but I'm sure there's some Academy Award voters who vote for it because of its quote-unquote visual style. And there are other ones though that look good, look like they're interesting, but Feast, it's like this weird cell shading kind of animation thing, and it looks beautiful. What is your pick?
Oh, knowing nothing about them, I hadn't even watched the couple of seconds that you did.
Oh, okay.
So. Feast.
You did?
I'll go with you on that. You made a compelling case. I'll go with that.
Yay. I'll watch it be that weird one that I thought, this is stupid.
The bigger picture one? What?
Yeah.
That was awful.
Okay, yeah. Let's just say animated short feast because it's Disney.
Yeah, because it's Disney. Disney wins.
They still know how to do.
It's hard to say Disney's not going to win.
They know how to crank out animation and troubled child actors.
Yeah.
So, okay, production design. This is where Wes Anderson gets it. This is my thought. Grand Budapest Hotel, production design. Yeah, you said it yourself earlier. You know how to frame the shot and everything.
He knows how to do it. Yes.
I maybe there's other films that I don't know if we're going to see the era of where this one film sweeps the awards hands down. I wish that we were because
I'm going to get another Titanic.
No, I'm thinking Lord of the Rings, dude.
Oh.
Titanic, Lord of the Rings. I don't know, and this is probably another discussion. Is that I don't think Hollywood puts out movies that are all that good anymore. They're few and far between, and not many people agree that they were that good. Anyway, that aside, I will give it to Grand Budapest because of all the reasons you gave before. So, if you have another pick, argue against yourself about it because I don't think that. Yeah.
Well, I was totally wrong.
As always.
As I usually
That was me from half an hour ago. Of course I was wrong.
Yes, for all of the reasons that I said. Grand Budapest Hotel. Obviously. Except that no, for all the reasons I said before, The Imitation Game.
Yeah. Well, now you're starting to set it up for another sweep. But okay, so The Imitation Game for production design. Because of all the reasons I said before.
Because of all the reasons I said before. It's a gay guy, it's a period piece. And the period piece, and from everything that I've seen, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Not just it looks like a good movie, visually, it has a great style.
I've seen the trailers, and it does seem to have a great style, and I think...
And Grand Budapest Hotel is Wes Anderson
again. And, maybe in 20 years they'll be calling it the Wes Anderson Award.
Right.
Same way they call, Best Original Screenplay, the Citizen Kane Award.
Yeah, exactly. It's, we've seen Wes Anderson do Wes Anderson, and we're kind of,
Yeah.
Good on you, mate. But
okay, so based on everything we're saying, I'm beginning to wonder if it's going to be a sweep for The Imitation Game because it has stuff that we haven't seen in years. But anyway, okay, song. All the upheaval, all the uproar of, oh my gosh, it wasn't nominated for dozens of awards. I'm going to give this one to Glory from Selma. I have not heard a single one of these songs. I usually love the song category. I fell out of love with it because they stopped picking good songs. I started picking songs, I think, based solely on what the politics of the movie were. So I'm going to give that to Selma because, quite frankly, I think that it's going to be that guilty. Oh, let's give it to Selma because it's Glory. And I don't know. Just the sound of each of the songs up for the award this year sounded boring to me. So I had no interest in hunting them down. A lot of these other categories, I spent the time, I hunted down, but song... It makes me sad. Song, I did not. Anyway.
Okay. And fair enough. I see your point on Selma. And I think that...
Pity award. Sorry.
Yeah, and, it's got to get something. And especially in the times we live in, it's kind of like
the
that...
parlance of our times, yes.
Yes, in the parlance of our times. That... You kind of really want to give Selma something.
Yeah, and again, maybe it's a safe bet. Is it actually here? I might want to change that. I totally don't even remember this category. Was Imitation Game up for best song? Because maybe they're thinking last year we did racial sensitivity. Let's do gay sensitivity this year.
Well, no, and I think that definitely the racial sensitivity is gonna has to carry a portion of it, and I think that Glory definitely has a shot.
Okay.
But if Everything Is Awesome doesn't win, I'm just gonna, like, oh man, like,
Just,
I will hurl things at my television if Everything Is Awesome doesn't win. That is the best song. I mean, come on.
You know, I almost picked that, but I think that it probably, I haven't seen it, okay? Again, I haven't seen the Lego Movie.
You
and
really
I've heard
should.
that the Everything Awesome song is fun and upbeat and everything, and I just don't think it'll win. And the only reason I don't think it'll win is because of people having a pity party for Selma. And it's just like, oh yeah, we should have awarded it more. Here, you can have best song because it's about the plight of blah. I don't know.
But
I could be wrong
Everything
about
is
the theme of the
awesome.
song, but
Everything is awesome. And it's so sarcastic. It's just like Everything is awesome, but it's not really awesome. It's just, it's perfect.
You said
It's
before the
such
Academy
a great
takes
song.
itself too seriously, though. And
It does, yes.
Remember when Blame Canada was awarded Best Song? Neither do I.
Yes.
But it was nominated.
I do remember it being nominated, and I also remember It's Hard Out There for a Pimp winning Best Song.
Okay.
3-6 Mafia are Academy Award winners
That's just...
for It's Hard Out There for a Pimp.
Yeah, in a world where...
Exactly. You never can with the best song. It's just got to be the best song, and the best song is Everything Is Awesome.
Yeah, but just because
The
it's
Pity
the
Party?
best.
Pity Party?
So you think, okay, so you for sure,
you know,
in your heart of hearts,
normally
going to open that
I go with...
envelope and say, Everything Is Awesome.
Yeah, normally I'm all about the Pity Party on awards. The best song is the one where I won't do it. Because 3-6 Mafia are Academy Award winners.
Okay, so this isn't you like having like, in my heart I want this to win, but I know what is going to win.
Right. Well, I'm going to say right now, I think Selma probably is really close. It's a really close between the two of them. But I still think that Everything Is Awesome is going to win.
Okay.
I think that everybody loves that song, and it's a great tune. And the sarcastic nature with which it's given is just so perfect that I don't think they can pass that one up.
Okay.
It's not just the wish you would win. It'll win.
Yeah. Okay. Makeup and hairstyling. I went for I couldn't
You
decide
skipped
between
original
Guardian.
score.
Original score? Oh, I skipped over it. Theory of Everything. Sorry. yeah, I just throw that out there. Everything else I think is debatable. I saw if the music in the soundtrack, if the music on the trailer is the same for its original score, then I'll give it to Theory of Everything. It looked upbeat. It had this kind of, crescendo music. Isn't where whatever things are going better now. It's the most horrible, wonderful tragedy ever. Swelling music kind of feel. I don't know. And why am I wrong? You have that line.
So wrong.
What was your pick?
Well, it might be. We have Grand Budapest Hotel, Imitation Game, Interstellar, Mr. Turner, and Theory of Everything, which you picked. Mr. Turner I know nothing about. Interstellar was Hans Zimmer, who never wins anything.
Yeah, I know. I just that's sad because I looked at it and I said, nope. He
You're
deserves
like,
an
no.
award, but
He
no.
really should win one of these days.
Yeah.
The other two, Grand Budapest Hotel and Imitation Game, are both by Alexander Desplat.
Huh.
And according to the rules of the Academy Awards, if you are nominated twice, then whatever one you are nominated for more gets all of the votes.
Oh, I did not know that.
From the other one that you were nominated from less.
So if it's like a 50-51, he gets all 50 of those other votes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which means that the Imitation Game's going to win.
Yeah, you're right.
Got to know the rules, man.
Yeah, no, that's a little bit of trivia here for the podcast. That works for me. I had no idea. Okay.
And Theory of Everything may have a better score. Imitation Game wins.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say I've written it down. I'll stick with Theory of Everything because it had that kind of schmaltzy upbeat feel. But it might be because of the rules that Imitation Game wins.
Yeah.
Makeup and hairstyling.
I
Originally,
will be surprised if it doesn't.
Yeah. Originally, I had both Guardians of the Galaxy and Foxcatcher up here. Now, the fact is the Guardians of the Galaxy makeup was awesome, but I think that because I didn't recognize Steve Carell, that it's going to go to Foxcatcher, even though there's all this intricate makeup on the guy who played Drax, and that one actress, they turned her green. That's pretty awesome, but that's not quite the same. I don't think that's quite turns people's head the same as, like, holy cow, that's Steve Carell under that?
Yeah.
Oh, and plus there's shots of people's ears. I know this is going to sound weird. It's my time for trivia. But I know for people, when I worked at a grocery store, a number of kids and they had guys there who had, like, club ear from wrestling, apparently. And I didn't know that this was something that happens when you're a wrestler. It's like a club ear for some reason. And they had several of the people have that. And it's not this exaggerated Spock ear thing, but it's subtle, and it's subtle in a way that makes you really feel like, okay, these are wrestlers. And again, cauliflower ear. Thank you, not club ear. Cauliflower ear. But Steve Carell. It wins because of Steve Carell, not being Steve Carell. You know? It's like, if they would have turned Steve Carell into a three-eyed mutant, they wouldn't win. But the fact that they turned Steve Carell into somebody else, into another human being, it's... Yeah.
I can't argue with any of that. That was exactly dead on. It's just like yeah, we made three-eyed mutants. Well, good for you, but did you know that was Steve Carell?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yes, totally different. And I think that, again, it's something that you've seen before. You know, it's like you've, well, maybe not heard gunshots, but you know what they sound like. But you've certainly seen cauliflower ear on somebody, and you know exactly what that looks like.
Yeah.
And even if you've only seen, you know, the wrestlers in the UFC with a cauliflower ear, only if you've ever seen, you know, the Expendables and him complaining about his cauliflower ear. You know, you know what cauliflower ear looks like. And to reproduce it in a way where you go, wow, does that guy, you know, and you don't think, oh, wow, that's pretty good. Which I think that always with sci-fi makeup, you go, wow, that was pretty good. Instead of going,
is that real?
Is he real?
Does he really have that? Did he like give himself cauliflower ear or something for the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that I've slowly learned and somewhat come to, like, if all three, I think there's only three in this category.
Yeah, only three.
If all three of them were sci-fi and fantasy stuff, then yeah, I'm not sure if The Hobbit's up for this one. And a few years back, if Hobbit was up for this, I would have said Hobbit. But
it's actually Foxcatcher, Grand Budapest Hotel, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I think Foxcatcher. I have to totally agree with you on that one. I'm not a big agree with you on everything thing, which we can see from the past 10 categories. But
yeah.
But yeah, you nailed that one.
Yeah, and so, like, you could say this is how, I hate the word matured because it's so stupid. This is the way I've gotten a little bit smarter about how the awards are done and appreciated films. I love Three-Eyed Monsters, but when I was watched the trailer for Foxcatcher and didn't know that it was Steve Carell for a second there, that was when I was like, okay, this wins for best makeup. Well,
and having studied some makeup myself, I think that doing something more subtle like that is way harder.
Yeah.
You know, trying to make Dustin Hoffman into Little Big Man, it's going to win you the award because it's so much more difficult.
Yeah. Okay.
Which did win, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say which did win. So there's your precedent.
It's a good trick.
So there's your precedent, yeah. Foreign language film. Again, know nothing about it. Sorry, Leviathan, because it has a cool name. Moving on. No, I'm just kidding.
Everything that I've read, and you know, a couple of the categories I did read a little bit on, was that Leviathan actually stands a pretty good shot and actually should be the one to win.
Okay.
But everybody's saying Ida. So I'm going to say Ida, although...
Just to be contentious. No.
Yeah, exactly. to buck the trend. Ida, I think, is probably going to win. But everything I know about these, Tangerines is definitely got to be the one.
Tangerines?
Tangerines should win, is not going to.
Okay, well, this is an audio recording. I gave one of those, like, what? kind of looks, but, like, okay, Tangerines.
Yeah, Tangerines should win.
Okay.
And I'd be very happy if it did, but Ida's going to win.
Okay. Film editing. I went for the twofer. Imitation Game or American Sniper. Actually, I think I'm going to go with, my final pick will be, oops, I erased the wrong one. I'm going to go with American Sniper because of all the stuff that Devin said before, Lunchbox, said before about it being hard to edit, or at least with the sound stuff.
See?
Now you're just going to say Imitation Game, aren't you?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, actually.
Okay, what are you going to say?
I think that Boyhood, by a long shot, wins this.
Really?
Yeah, by a long shot wins
it's
this.
like literally the only trailer I have to not watch to try to brush up because I was just the I don't know, the promo material bored me.
Yes. Oh,
sorry.
wow. Yes, it so no. Oh. But
it's just like, if I can't even be bothered to be interested in watching the trailer, I'm sorry. This is why, like, one movie like American Sniper is blowing out of the water every other film that's up for Best Picture this year and such. 'Cause it's just like, sorry. Anyway, that's a tangent.
Well, but you do look at the other films. Look at the other films. You have Grand Budapest Hotel. Okay, typical movie, right? I mean, it's not that outrageous. Neither is Imitation Game or Whiplash. Like, they're standard movies. Like, maybe that's edited together very well. Again, haven't seen any of these, but maybe they're put together very well. American Sniper needs a little bit more deftness, I would agree. You need to be able to, with cutting back and forth between the sniper and his target and things like that.
Yeah.
That there's another level to that. Boyhood was shot over years. They would shoot a segment once a year for years. And the complexity in trying to cut all of that footage together, that having edited stuff, that blows my mind. That is just such another level for that editing. It's, if it wins anything, which it's going to win a few more later on, but but if it wins anything, editing has to be it. I mean, well, it may be the one thing that I know the most about, but oh man, how hard that had to be to edit. Okay. That's so much respect for that. And if it doesn't win, I'm gonna dance out of here singing "Everything Is Awesome."
Okay, short documentary. Again, don't know. I picked White Earth because White Earth is always keeping the Black Earth down. I can't remember actually. I looked at the synopsis of the documentaries and I picked that one because it sounded the most pretentious. Truth.
Well, I appreciate your premise. I'm going to stick with that premise because I appreciate it so much. And I'm going to go with Crisis Hotline, Veterans Press 1, because it just sounds so much more pretentious.
Yeah, it has...
Crisis Hotline, come on.
Does it have a semicolon, hyphen, or something like that?
It's Crisis Hotline, Veterans Press 1.
Okay, I'm actually, you know what, I'm going to change, I am going to change this guess, Crisis Hotline, because, yes, there's something...
Is so much more pretentious. Come on.
No, you're
How
right.
does the Crisis Hotline not win?
Having been through college, I know that for some reason I had that extra allure to professors. If I had a title, it had a hyphen. A hyphen or a semicolon in it. It was always like... So, you know, that second part has so much more weight. Crisis Hotline, da-da-da-da. And it's just like... The world in balance.
All about
my
the subtitle.
Everything. Yeah, subtitle. Yeah, it wins it for subtitle. Documentary. Citizen 4.
Oh,
I have no idea what the films are about. Again, I have no idea. Epic Citizen 4 because
feature?
documentary feature Citizen 4. I really have almost nothing to say on this other than that's my pick. Sorry.
Really?
I'm sorry.
You know nothing about.
I know nothing about this category, and I am sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry that
sorry.
That big tub of goo, Michael Moore, I think has ruined documentaries for at least the next few generations or whatever. It's just that I cannot take. When I was a kid growing up, a documentary to me meant like you're filming something in the wilderness. Actually, I take that back. The only awesome documentary I've seen in the past 10, 15 years was, God, what was it called? Grizzly Man? Was that it?
Yeah, Grizzly Man.
Is Werner Herzog, because Werner Herzog is an awesome director.
Yes.
But,
yes, he is. And you probably haven't seen any of his other films, but he is.
Werner... It was awesome because it felt like a fair documentary. You had people saying that Timothy Treadwell was a total nutbag, and other people saying he was such a great conservationist or whatever. It's the only film that was a documentary that I've seen in so long that actually fell under the category of like, we're going to document this person, what happened to them. Here's some people who thought he was nuts, here's some people who thought he was awesome. Everything else I've seen that says it's a documentary is like propaganda fluff for somebody's cause. And it's just like, you know what, either rename the category or get back to filming bison in the wilderness and saying this is what they do when they live and die. You know, I'm sorry. I expect National Geographic, I guess, out of my documentaries, not we documented this, because I guess I'm still pissed off that about stuff that people thought counted as a documentary over things like having seen bits of what was it, Bowling for Columbine, and didn't it win?
Yeah,
Bowling for Columbine won. It's like I'm going in to document this, but I'm going to lie my butt off about who I am to people to get in. It's like, you're not documenting. It's like, this is what counts as documentary anymore? Screw this category. I'm picking it because it has the word citizen, which makes me think the whole illegal alien whatever debate, and 4 because it's not 5. You know, I don't know. But truthfully, I've lost interest in this category, and I entirely blame politics.
You know?
I hate to sound so crude about it, but it's just like, screw this category. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just think that's hilarious because you know nothing about any of these films.
I know zero about them other than like the brief things that I read, and I don't even remember that last night because I read the stuff about them at 2 a.m. I dropped out of paying attention to what the documentaries were several years ago because of Michael Moore, because I was just like, if this is what the Academy holds up in the top 5, like he was against other competitors he won, this is what they hold up as the cream of the crop, I have no interest in what they have to say about this. And I'm being totally honest here. You lost me. If they created a whole category about like the best seaweed from around the world, I would have equal disdain and contempt that the Academy had turned into this.
It's just amazing to me that you picked the one that was going to actually win.
Oh, hey.
like Citizen 4, actually, the filmmakers were going to make a movie about Julian Assange.
Wait, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about Julian Assange.
It's not.
It's not?
It's not.
Oh.
They went to go make this documentary about Julian Assange.
Yeah.
And while they were in the process of trying to do the documentary, a guy called him and said that he had some things that he wanted to tell him. Guy by the name of Edward Snowden. And the documentary is literally him releasing the information. It is the documentary of him giving out what he's going to say about everything that he released. And it's real time watching it happen. Watching him like battle with like, should I really do this? Should I let this information out? Like, just watching him in real time do it. It's as documentary gets. Because they went to go do something else, and on the way, ran into Ed, and he happened to have a couple of things to say. And it just, like they end up in a hotel room. He's like, okay, well, should I part my hair this way? And it's just everything that I know about it is that it is real as real gets. And yeah, definitely, yeah, that story wins.
Okay. Yeah, okay, then I picked it by accident, and you picked it for what sounds like good reasons.
Yeah, it's just I'm really looking forward to seeing it, actually.
Okay, and up next I have Best Director. Unless you want to feel like that's later on, but Best Director, and
Director is next.
How do I say it? I originally I was floating back and forth between Birdman or Imitation Game. And I'm wondering if I've not seen it, and maybe I just like Michael Keaton too much. I wanted to pick Birdman, but I'm thinking I might have to pick Imitation Game. No, I'll stick to my guns. I'm going to say Birdman. Because I feel like, actually, the more that we talk, the more I'm thinking that there's going to be a potential sweep for the bigger awards, either Birdman or... boy, I just blanked on it. The Imitation Game. No. My brother is showing me the list of other nominees, and I don't even bother because I'm going with Birdman. I'm going with the director of Birdman. I don't know who that is. You just showed me the list too.
I can't pronounce his name.
Okay.
Alexandro G. Inarritu.
Alexis. Gotcha.
Yeah. We call him Sergey. No. They, oh man, I so want to go with Birdman with you. Man, really do.
Because I'm beginning to see, like, as we're talking, I'm wondering, is Birdman, like, is that my pick this year because I want it to win? Because I've played this game before, and it's like, I'm trying to be a bit better about, separating out my feelings from, like, what I actually think the Academy will pick. And I'm saying, oh, the Birdman's going to win because it's got this and that and the other. Yeah. But the more I hear about Imitation Game, I'm just like, crap, that actually might be it. But I want to go with Birdman because maybe it's because too much I want to see stuff with Michael Keaton in it do well. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
your thought?
I really, and that's my sentimental favorite too. Like, I really want to see Michael Keaton do well, and I want to see everything he does do well. And I think that from everything I've read, it's a fabulous movie. It's just not going to win.
It's yeah, because I'm sitting here thinking, like, well, wait a minute, the other one's a period piece.
Yeah, you're going the wrong way. Imitation Game's not going to win either.
Really? Okay, what's up?
It's Boyhood.
Boyhood again?
Going to win. Yeah.
For the reasons you listed before?
For the reasons I listed before.
Okay.
He made a movie over more than a decade. He spent making this movie. Yeah, it's Boyhood. No. Even if it sucks, which I've heard that it's very, very good. But, come on. You spend no more than a decade making a movie, we gotta give you something, man.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like gosh, why am I blanking on
and being able to continue the through line through everything and trying to make it one cohesive piece, that's the director's job, man.
Yeah, but they're trying to revitalize Michael Keaton's career with Birdman. I don't know. I
very well may revitalize his career. Pulp Fiction didn't win Best Picture.
But it really helped Travolta.
But Travolta made a big comeback.
Temporary.
And now he gets massages all the time.
Uh-huh. Okay. I got to move on from this because I'm going to overthink it. Because I think I'm sticking with Birdman.
Stick with Birdman. And I hope you're right.
I do,
because I would love to see.
Not only because that's my pick, but because it'd be nice to see something that I'm starting to slowly conclude as my sentimental one is gonna win. Costume design, haven't seen it. Maleficent, seen the trailers, looks good.
Hey, a movie I've seen.
Okay, is that your pick, Maleficent?
Costume design, man.
Everybody keeps talking about the freaky, weird horns that Angelina Jolie is wearing and what they do with their eyes.
Great. Man, and I wish I knew more about the rest of the category. Costume design. But costume design doesn't always go to the flashy.
I know.
It's like with the sound effects. It goes with the more
I know.
sedate ones of like, sure, you can make something from Middle Earth, but can you make something that looks like it's from the 1920s? That's a harder job, I think, really. When it comes down to it, because you can't
don't tell me
be
that
all
the Imitation Game
flamboyant.
is up for this one too, is it?
It's not.
Okay.
But Grand Budapest Hotel is, which I think has its own shot there, because it is more things that you've seen before and you know what they should look like. Nobody liked Into the Woods. Well, they liked the first half, but nobody liked the second half. Inherent Vice, for the reasons listed before, it just wasn't big enough, and people thought it was weird. Mr. Turner, I know nothing about, so not them.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and go with you and say Maleficent.
Okay.
I thought the costumes were great in Maleficent, actually. It's the one movie I've seen, and I liked it. So I'll go with that.
Now we're on to cinematography. Cinematography. Birdman. I've seen the shots. I've seen the pictures that they have. Some of the framing. I know that I think that Budapest is up for this as well.
Yeah.
But you've already given the reasons of what people have seen that before. There are certain shots that I've seen in the trailer of Birdman that are framed really well that made me take several looks again. I've rewatched maybe that's it. I've rewatched the Birdman trailer so many times. But yeah, no, having watched it, I was like, you know what? There's stuff going on here that, how do I say? I think that the Imitation Game's up for this one too, isn't it?
It's not. We have Birdman, Grand Budapest Hotel, Ida, Mr. Turner, and Unbroken.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Birdman. It has the look that it needs. It has the framing that it needs. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay.
For all the reasons I listed before, Grand Budapest Hotel has its... not going to win. Birdman.
Birdman
for
too?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And then pause.
Animated films. Big Hero 6.
We need to pause.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, hold on a second. Okay.